The question is that the motion be agreed to.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker.
Meka Whaitiri, tēnā koe.
Waiho ki te amorangi ki mua, ko te hapai o ki muri. I ngā mate huhua, ko hinga atu, haere, haere, moi maira. I ngā raurangatira mā, Ngāti Hineuru. I ngā kaumātua, nau mai, hara mai, hoki mai. Hoki mai tō tātou whare. E te maanga e te whare nei, tēnā koe. I ngā mema katoa, tēnā tātou katoa. E tātou e iti rere, teitei, ka hikatia, ka taia. Nō reira, tēnā koutou katoa. Mr Speaker, it is indeed my honour to stand in support of the Ngāti Hineuru Settlement Bill. In terms of context, sir, as the Minister has alluded, the second reading is really an opportunity to report back what was presented in front of the Select Committee. But before I address some of the critical issues that Ngāti Hine themselves raised at the Select Committee, sir, may I just paint some context of the tribe of Ngāti Hineuru. Sir, they descend from two ancestors, Apa Hapai Takitaki o Ngāti Apa and Kurapoto. Hineuru, the Rohe, although a mountainous region, sir, its location is on the main access routes between Napier and Taupo, Rotorua and the Bay of Plenty. Sir, their history is indeed an interesting one. And although the subjects were raised both at Select Committee and, as the Minister rightfully said, recommendations were made and technical changes were, I wanted to take my time, sir, and talk around the negotiation process that the negotiators of Ngāti Hineuru had to endure, and they raised some very important points in front of the Select Committee that I may seek the indulgence of the House to transverse, sir, in my contribution this morning. The history with the Crown, sir, as described by the submission submitted by Ngāti Hineuru. The most important incidents of the Hineuru history were the Crown attacks at Omaranui and Petane in 1866, during which their rangatira Te Rangi Hero was killed. Following these attacks, many were captured and sent to the Chatham Islands. There they were came across Te Kuti and were subsequently involved in his escape and the subsequent wars that ensued. While all this was happening, sir, the Crown was purchasing and taking Hineuru lands. Ngāti Hineuru were left virtually landless. And to add salt to the wound, sir, the Crown also awarded certain Hineuru lands to other iwi. And this is an area of contention for Hineuru, as is of many other iwi who have suffered a similar fate. Once a very powerful iwi, sir, they held very strategic areas in the central North Island. Following the loss of their lands, resources and people, Hineuru people that remained lived in poverty and in the shadow of the pains of the past. Once a powerful nation, their journey to settlement is about rebuilding their people. Sir, the other interesting aspect of this particular claims was that Ngāti Hineuru had to attend 3 hearings. The Mohaka ki Ahuriri during 1996 and 2000, the Central North Island Tribunal hearings in 2005, and the Te Uruwera hearings from 2003 to 2005. Sir, it's a challenge enough to attend your own hearings and prepare yourself to ensure that your interest in your rohe is protected. But in this particular instance of Ngāti Hineuru, the requirement to protect what little they had required them attending 3 hearings. And sir, I would put the statement around whether any other iwi has to endure 3 hearings to ensure what land they have can be protected. So entities were established. The Ngāti Hineuru Iwi Incorporated was established in 2005 and their responsibility was for the negotiations. And Te Kōpere o Te Iwi o Hineuru Trust, responsible to receive and manage the redress, was ratified by just under 75% in late 2015. And Sir, I want to acknowledge the 6 po that forms the intent of the iwi to rebuild their people, the restoration, protection of their cultural heritage and history for future generations, the restoration of the health and well-being of their people, the recognition of the mana of Hineuru and the restoration of the relativity Hineuru had with other iwi in the region, the reassertion of the presence of Hineuru through their rohe, the rebuilding of their economic base, Sir, and the revitalisation and restoration of their rohe as kaitiaki of their natural resources and environment. Sir, the 2 issues that I want to raise in my contribution are issues pertaining to the negotiations, and the second issue, Sir, is the continuing pursuit of recognition. It was interesting in the submission to the Select Committee, and we often don't hear the struggles that sometimes negotiators have to go through, Sir, in terms of getting their particular settlement over the line. I want to mention the issue around the Crown Forest Rental Trust funding and I guess the extra pressure, Sir, it put on the negotiator when it came to funding the particular negotiations. It was sorted. I would like to say that it was sorted through perceived conflicts of trustees of Crown Forest Rental Trust. But, Sir, the upshot was that Ngāti Hineuru was left with a debt, and they still have a debt over something that had nothing whatsoever to do with them in terms of the releasing of funds. So, Sir, I want to say to the Minister, if there is any way in his good grace that we could forego that debt, I'm sure you'll make Ngāti Hine people very, very happy. The other issue, Sir, that was raised at the Select Committee was the continuous pursuit of recognition. As we have seen in many, many settlements, the use of iwi authorities in current legislation means some benefit, and clearly those who do not have the status of iwi miss out. In Ngāti Hineuru's case, they mentioned the fisheries protocol with MPPI, albeit for me to be talking about fish in this settlement, but fisheries settlement means that Ngāti Hineuru, their part of the settlement is not managed by themselves. And if I can read through their submission, they would one day like to, one, be recognised as an iwi, but also to pursue and enjoy the opportunities that other iwi have in relation to the Fisheries Settlement Act. So again, I put that on the floor of this House, that if there's anything that the Minister could help in that regard, we would definitely support that. And also the census classification. So I too want to, in my final couple of minutes, thank the Select Committee, the Minister, the officials and the negotiators and the people of Ngāti Hineuru. In my closing point, as the Ngāti Hineuru claim has shown, like many others, the Crown's action in retaining Māori whenua into Māori hand has been dismal, has been an abject failure and been a derelict of duty. Like Ngāti Hineuru, Sir, none of their lands lost was of their own making. Being removed off their land and incarcerated on the Chathams without trial was not of their doing. While their land was being sold in their absence, that was not of their doing. Sir, earlier this month, the government introduced a brand new Māori land law, Te Turu Whenua Māori Bill. Not an amendment of the existing Act, but a complete rewrite. Māori landowners have had a year to understand the 400-page bill. Like Ngāti Hineuru, I contend this is not of their doing. I commend this bill to the House.
The Honourable